All right, this is verse 3373. Allah will punish the hypocrites. Okay? He will punish the polytheists. He'll punish the pagans, the idolaters. For anybody who is a disbeliever in the oneness of Allah and his Muhammad. One more time. Don't blink. Disbelievers will be punished if they do not believe in the oneness of Allah and his Muhammad. We're talking about punishing the polytheists. That is a believer in more than one occupying a space. And right here we have a statement right out of Muhammad's mouth: disbelievers in the oneness of Allah and his Muhammad. So this is for the true believers of Islamic monotheism. There's not a single prophet in the Bible that has ever said, obey me. And here's a list of all the prophets. I'm just going to slowly go down through here. There we go. There's the end of all the prophets that are in the Bible. Okay? And not a single one of them has ever written a verse that says, obey God and obey me. They have never put their personal expectations written alongside the name of God. And forgiveness of the sins is for whoever obeys Allah and Muhammad. He has achieved a great achievement and will be saved from the hellfire. And you're made to enter paradise at this point. But you need to obey Allah and Muhammad. Understand that there is no admission to heaven unless you're obedient to Muhammad and Allah. Okay? So I'm a little bit concerned because Muhammad is inserting himself and making himself a partner for believers, those who believe. They have to be obedient to Muhammad and establish prayer and give zakah and obey Muhammad, that you may receive mercy. Okay? So through obedience to Muhammad, you may receive mercy. So let's take a look at King James here real quick. Obey. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Okay? That's God's voice, or the voice of Allah. Okay? Because, Genesis 26:5, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Okay? He's talking about Abraham obeying God's voice. Obey Allah and obey Muhammad, and beware. And if you turn away, here's another one. Okay? It's okay, different verse number. But fear Allah and obey me. Instead of me, we're going to use Muhammad, because that's who that word is referring to right now. So fear Allah and obey Muhammad. Fear Allah and obey Muhammad. Here's another verse. Another verse. Fear Allah and obey Muhammad. So are we starting to see a pattern here? Another verse. Fear Allah and obey Muhammad. And Muhammad is inserting himself into what should be just commandments of God. So let's take a look at King James here real quick. Obey. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Okay? That's God's voice, or the voice of Allah. Okay? Because, Genesis 26:5, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Okay? He's talking about Abraham obeying God's voice. A blessing if thee obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day. This is obedience to the 10 Commandments. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. Oh, this is interesting. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. This is a very interesting verse because this is real similar to what I read out of the Quran. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice. And ye shall serve him, and cleave unto him. Again, this is talking about fearing God and keeping to his commandments. And this is the 10 Commandments. This isn't the 5 or the 3 or the 8 or whatever else anybody's out there trying to sell you. This is the 10 Commandments. They've been in place for a really long time. Okay, Deuteronomy 38, and understand that this is the Old Testament. This is not New Testament stuff. This is really, really, really old stuff. Okay, and this is the it's written exactly the same way in the Torah. Okay, and thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. Okay, again, voice of the Lord, commandments. There seems to be no deviation in this. Joshua 24:24. That's easy to remember. And the people said unto Joshua, the Lord our God will we serve, and his voice we obey. Okay, so that is obedience to God and the voice of God, and the commandments of God, which is the 10 Commandments, that no prophet of the Bible has ever commanded to be obeyed. Okay, well, listen again. Out of all the prophets of the Bible, and there's a lot of them, not one of them has ever written a verse in the Bible that says anything about obeying that particular prophet. Okay? God bless you.